break to Runeswick, we all know a blight. We've lost and we're taken from all walks of life. No matter your tale, no matter your home, we all are wayward souls. We drink and we fight, it's all in good fun. The Kraken we serve, he all makes us one. We sweat and we bleed, neath the blistering sun, until the day is done. There's wind in our sails, the past at our backs. We're quick to throw hands when our foes attack. With arms at our side, our sword in our gun, our guile will not waver until we have won. Though our histories differ, our presence the same. We all had our places we needed to flee. Now we are your tale, now we are your home. We all are wayward souls.
And we're live on the internet. Hello, everybody. I'm just gonna cover the game board here for a second. How's it going, all my fine players, all these wonderful people that we have watching and listening elsewhere? I finally have the Spotify situation sorted, so I can start uploading to Spotify. That just cost me $200. But
Hey, that's not Uno.
Oh shit!
God damn it!
I'm sorry. I have another D&D game.
How dare you? How dare you be another giant motherly figure? This one with a drinking problem.
You know, it's okay.
But yes, we weren't here last week, and we apologize, but we are here for episode 10. The shenanigans continue. Who will get the mom talk this week? I was writing the recap, and I was trying to do it from memory, and it went more. Usually, I can do it just fine. I had to go back and watch a bunch of stuff because from memory, it was Magnus with Riz, Kadan caused 9/11, the mom's mad now, Flint redemption arc potentially, and Malachi lore drop. Dun dun dun. The dun 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 is written. But yeah. I also drew a little monkey fuckboy face when I wrote Magnus with Riz.
Magnus with stupendous Riz.
I had a big brain moment. I didn't realize, I understand what Riz is. I didn't realize Riz was short for charisma.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like charm.
Wait, what?
Yeah!
I did not know that either.
Dude, no, Supple came into my chat. Supple, because I don't know why we were talking about Riz, but Supple came into my chat and he was like, "Yo, is Riz just short for charisma?" And I'm like, "Is it?" Like, I'm fucking stupid, man.
I never knew that.
Charismatic as
Dude,
fuck.
the first time I heard this whack ass new word, I fucking went and did some research. Yep, just charisma.
Magnus with tremendous Riz.
Roll for Riz.
When you said
Can you make a
said,
Riz saving
can you
throw?
make a Riz? Can you make a Riz check? Yeah.
Riz check.
Part of me is
Oh my god.
part of me is so sad that Riz was a thing after we were done with Wrath.
Oh,
Wrath with
you-
tremendous
Wrath
Riz.
the Wizard.
Wrath had tremendous Riz.
can you know what, Josh? I would allow a certain someone's stupid son to canonize the word Riz simply because it's you and
Yeah.
and it's Wrath.
Yeah.
And Sarah already canonized so many other fucking stupid things.
Yay.
Leave it to the rogues to have the most lasting aftershocks in your world. First there was Flareton, he did his thing.
No. See here, like it's you and Sarah canonizing goofy little things that are like, haha. I'm like, great, that's a part of my world. And then then it's Cam. Cam's the reason there was another elven atrocity in my world, and the fucking Geneva Convention. Like
To think I canonize goofy little funny things too.
Like war crime.
goofy little funny war crimes. Hee.
Melt your eyeballs.
Listen,
I swear.
laws like that are put in place because people had too much fun, like the Geneva Convention.
Just don't get to the point where I have to do the fantasy Nuremberg trials. That's all I'm asking.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh
Listen, we
no!
had Constantine Accords. They're in place.
The coalition is thrilled about them, by the way.
God.
Anyway.
Like, is that sarcasm?
Oh yeah, no, they're committing war crimes left and right. So when their people are slapping them with sanctions, they're pissed.
Yeah, they don't want to have the people who wrote the Constantine Accords to come and be like, hey!
Oh, y'all got nothing to do with it. The only people that enforce it are some, spooky little wolf boys.
Huh.
Oh.
That's what the
That's-
world police has come, huh? Spooky little wolf boys.
Yeah, that's the wolves of the iron, the wolves of the iron blood. They come out and they're like, they put a gun in your mouth and you commit war crimes. Like, no, are you sure? Ah! And then they leave you alone.
You sure?
Leave it to Edward's
Don't
group.
become wolf among us.
Fucking.
Oh,
No good.
Isn't that what that game is called? The Wolf, or what is?
It's the wolf. It's the wolf among us. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Isn't
the
it?
wolf
I
in
want-
eye.
Among us.
Yes.
I don't know.
It looks like you're the wolf among us or
I think that
something.
wolf is pretty stuck over there.
You guys literally did a terrorist attack while out shopping. It's true. But with that being said,
It was an accident. It's a whoopsie terrorist attack.
accidental 9/11.
You know, you can accidentally
Is that-
commit acts of terror.
Do you
That
think,
happens.
you think that's what Osama bin Laden said? And he's like, when he got caught, he's like, "Oops, I committed all terrorism."
Ah,
the left in Albuquerque.
fuck.
Can we play D&D?
Yeah. Sorry. Week breaks. Anyway, as we last left off, the Vanguard has returned to the grotto. But not after the complete decimation and terror that was wrought upon Tagora. Slight disputes amongst the party and the crew for the actions that fell into place while they were out gathering supplies. And though not all members of the crew are happy with never being able to return to Tagora, some members never get to leave it, as you left behind the bartender. As everyone begins to settle in the grotto and get ready for the next leg of their leg of the adventure, what is everyone up to? The sun is slowly kind of pulling across the sky. The waves crashing against the dock. The men getting ready and loading the ship. Plans and documents are being gathered. It's going to be a busy few days. Kadan, if you do not remember, the Kraken told you to meet him at sunset.
I didn't forget.
Okay.
It's get to be that time, huh? Sun's getting
Not-
real low,
not-
big guy.
Not yet, but you have like a few hours.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, Leonard is here. Anything else
Leonard.
people forget?
Little Leonard.
I love Leonard. Just whenever the Kraken's like done being busy, I
Mhm.
want to talk to him.
Okay.
Let him cool off for a little bit.
I'm gonna stop Flint here.
Oh,
Flint.
Hi, Kadan. What's going on?
So you chase after Malachi. Okay.
He's just a little upset, but I think he'll pull through. It's fine.
Hmm. Does he blame himself for what happened?
Wouldn't you?
He shouldn't.
Maybe someone should tell him.
Is he out over there?
Yeah.
Is that kind of point towards the treehouse?
Yeah, that's where he's at.
Yeah. Should I leave him alone for the time being, or?
He is a little hot-headed at the moment. If you do approach, I would do so with caution.
Well, he's already blown me up. The worst thing he could possibly do is stab me. So, I think I'll be fine. And I'll
Alright.
start walking that way.
Best of luck.
And I'm gonna go find Malachi.
All right. So you make your way over. Malachi is in your small little training circle. The series of dummies that are set up here for you to hone your skill when needed. Maury also uses them from time to time.
Hmm. What's Malachi doing?
He's letting out some aggression on the dummies. Punching.
Neat.
Doing some training, I guess.
I won't say anything. I'll just watch.
At some point, Malachi will stop and then look over to Kadan. You have something to say, or you're just gonna keep staring?
I know what it is like to get caught up in emotion of... And I'll kind of jab the dummy to his left, letting out frustration. I do not like to be interrupted, and I figure it's the same respect to you as well.
Uh-huh.
I just wish to come over and say I do not hold you responsible for what happened.
Then who's responsible for, exploding half the island and hurting?
You did not explode half of island. You only blew up small cave. It was... At least home was empty above, I think. If I remember through my eyesight. We'll cross that road when we cross it. But I once was like you. I was not from... I'll kind of just gesture around this kind of society. I grew up in mountains. My culture and civilization was a bear and the wolves that tried to kill us. So adjusting to society, adjusting to new rule sets. It took time. It took learning. It took experience, of which you should now have plenty of.
Yeah, there's lots of experience from being here, but none of it's been good.
Well, most I can say is that there are people who are going to help you. You know, I can help however I can to teach you how life is in, what did you say, plane of existence, since you are from different one. I would imagine different plane of existence would have different rules than just me or my mountains did.
Yeah, there's also a bit of class disposition too. I'm realizing I'm not really used to how things are here. I mean, that's obvious, but also just interacting with people.
I totally understand. My interactions with people were limited very early on. The Kraken is the first person in 22 years or so that treated me like a person, not like a creature, not like a beast. And despite what happened, despite it all, I do not hold you responsible, and I want you to know I forgive you. It is not your fault.
Thanks. The whole losing control thing, how do you deal with it afterwards?
Long ago, when I had Mishkala, I would wake up and she would be holding me in her arms. And that is how I would deal with it. After she left, I would wake up in cold, dark cell. And the best way I began to handle it was to internalize it, and it only made it worse. Since the pits, I have not lost myself like that. So I have to learn a new way. And I don't know yet. I used to do... There was something a friend or a mentor of mine in the pits taught me called meditation. And to cleanse, or to purge one's mind of all thought and to just focus on nothing, essentially. What was this? I do not know how to explain it, but it was essentially make brain not do what brain normally does.
I've done meditations before, but they never really work for me. The whole erasing your mind, calming it doesn't. It doesn't work.
Well, have you seen how I fight without being big, scary, angry person?
Sort of. I think the last few times I've seen you fight, I've been kind of out of it.
When I fight, I try to do a meditation and almost as quickly as possible. I try to just purge my mind of everything except for breathing and just let my body do the work. And as much as I do not like how good I am at fighting, that is where I do find peace. Is in those moments where I have control of myself and I am in a fight. Meditation, purging one's mind, it's different for everyone. Maybe there is something that you like, where you can just do and exist without even thinking about it. Like, I'll kind of like point down at his new little finger bone thing hanging off of his waist thing. Obviously, you like to make, is that jewelry? Is that just a...
Sure. Accessory? I just thought they looked cool.
Maybe that is something you are good at and you don't even have to think about it. Maybe, don't steal bones from people we just killed. You might upset someone, but if we find, like, dead bird, do something with its skull.
I'll consider it. Sorry. Put on. You didn't necessarily let me say it, but I am sorry.
Apology accepted. I am sorry for whatever distress I caused after the fact.
You didn't do anything bad, Kidon. You didn't really have...
I saw what my hands did.
But you didn't do it on purpose.
Regardless of if I did on purpose or not, they're still my hands. I need to have better control.
Yeah, I understand that.
Perhaps it is something we can work on together. You have little feral beastie part of you. I have really angry part of me.
And how about this? We'll try to keep each other in check. Check in, time to time.
Of course. I'll reach out to, Beastman's handshake.
Malachi kind of like tilts his head a little bit, but then like takes it.
Kadon will like grab his forearm and like show him like grab his forearm and then shake.
After a proper Beastmaster's handshake. Everyone else, what's anyone else doing? Maury lumbers his way into the tavern. He kind of like walks in. He has a very large bucket. He walks into the kitchen and then he walks out of the kitchen with a bunch of fruit. And then he leaves.
I'm just working.
Okay.
Helping and it needs help.
All right. Mint, Flint, Astra, Magnus.
Asta would probably just get a drink and go settle back into the corner table and just kind of wait and see what people are up to.
Sure.
Are we eating? Have we eaten?
Food is prepared. Food has been prepared. It's just a nice, hearty, very simple vegetable stew. There is some bread, but it is pretty hard. It's a couple days old, a little stale, but it loosens up with the stew.
Okay, Magnus goes and eats over by Asta
All right.
with his usual glass of wine.
Okay.
Mint would join those two as well and eat some food as well.
All right.
Is Maury just chilling right there?
Yeah, he's outside. He's just sitting on the deck. He is cutting strawberries with his feet and eating some, like, looks like blueberries.
Wanna come pet Mango? And
Mango's just sunbathing on the barrel. You hear the barrel, like, waning and just creaking.
oh wow. If there's any like loose meat in the kitchen, I bring it for Mango. It's like a little piece, nothing too.
Okay. You would find a couple little chunks.
And I'll just say to Maury, how much have you heard about what happened?
What happened?
I look around. Make sure I don't see Kadon. The bear came out.
So, you just give him a on the head. So he does that. He like smashes a mound of blueberries in his hand. And just,
Not this time. This time we were able to talk him out of it.
Progress. Strawberry. So he hands you one with his feet.
I take it. Have I ever seen a strawberry?
No, actually.
I just kind of hold it in my hand.
He adds the cut up strawberries into his little bucket and starts walking back towards his tower.
I'll eat it.
Things
Sitting here hanging out with Mako.
Things will be fine. No need to worry. All right. Everyone's eating. Mint, what are you doing? You said
I
you're
just joined the other two in eating.
Okay,
Nothing special.
perfect.
Well, working, pet Mango.
All right. As some time passes, Flint, are you also eating, or have you decided?
No.
Oh.
I actually left and went to the end of the dock. And I'm just
There.
practicing some swings with my sword.
Sure. You-
Trying to get accustomed to it.
It has a very imbalanced weight when it is not lit in flame.
And Flint is thinking about the fact that this thing has caught on the flame, but he's trying to figure out how to get it to do that again. Let's see. I remember I held it like this, and guilt. That's what it was, right? Guilt. And I'm not sure if it does anything or not.
You hold the sword and you just give it that shake. Nothing happens.
Is this really gonna turn into a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Shazam! Go flame go! I mean, every time that I've started talking about guilt as a weapon, it's hummed. Why isn't this? And I guess I just sheath it for now. And I'll start heading back.
Okay. So you start making your way, Kadon. It is getting that time. As the sun pulls across the sky, as your friends begin to eat their meals, as you
Am I
hear...
able to catch the Kraken beforehand?
No, he's already over there.
What is it? This feels like, obviously I wouldn't know.
I wanted to
but-
find him before.
Oh, yes, but he went over there after telling Kadon, meet me over there at
All right.
yeah.
Fair
He
enough.
went over there last session.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously I wouldn't know how this is, but this feels like one of those moments where your dad is like, I need you to talk to me in my den after dinner.
Meet me in the den, boy. We need to have a discussion about your report card. And the fact that you caused 9/11.
You gave this region its version of a 9/11.
I don't eat. I just continue to work through the
I
day.
lost Kadon.
Oh, I have him. Don't worry, he's right here.
Okay.
He's right. He landed right next to Papa.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Una just never stops working. She's either cleaning, moving stuff, doing inventory, sewing sales, sewing people's clothes.
You would get put on sail duty as they are sewing the sails of both the main ship and the secondary unnamed vessel to get ready for some type of very long voyage. They are loading up the ships, both of them, with food, water, shot, and preparing to get going. The entire crew is now together, and aside from the people that are grotto bound, which is a very small crew mainly meant for defense, a voyage is being prepped and the sails need to be repaired. So you are just sat down and handed a you know what I mean, you fuck. You are given just a spool of thread and any section of the sails that need to be sewed. It's mainly smaller sections on the main ship, and for the secondary ship, it's most of the sails need some type of stitching as they were torn purposefully by the pirate hunters.
Okay.
As you make your way over, Kadon, the Kraken is standing there, leaning against the wall, a concentrative look in his eye as he stares at the doors. A moment passes before he actually makes eye contact with you.
Are you opening the doors?
I need you to know something. You do have a sister, yes. But there is a difference between you and her. You are my son. You are my boy, no different if you are flesh and blood. Or found. The bond is the same. But you do not bear my curse. You do not bear the affliction that I have bestowed upon her, though you have your own. You need to understand. The next time you call yourself a monster, or think of yourself as some type of cursed individual, that there is worse things to lie within your heart. So he opens the doors, and they heavy open as they just slowly pan open. I don't know why they opened different ways, but whatever. He makes his way in, and you see the small stone room lit by 2 flickering torches that give off just enough light to light the main section of the room, just before the metal wrought iron gate. A small cot is in here, with a very large and kind of heavily worn storybook lying on the bed. You can see a number of ribbons through it as different stories have been started but never finished. Inside the cage is dark.
Daddy? Who is that man? Who is that man?
A shrill and pained voice comes from that darkness. The Kraken just stands by the door. He ushers for you to move closer, if you wish.
Move closer.
I can't see you. Who are you?
I am Kadon. It is nice to meet you. What is your name?
You feel the Kraken's hands squeeze on your shoulder. Her name is Michaela.
It is nice to meet you, Michaela. That is a beautiful name. Kadon will kneel down.
As you get closer, you see a hunched and rag-covered figure in the corner. You hear the popping of bones and a dripping of liquid. Too thick to be blood.
What is... I see that you have the storybook. What kind of stories do you like to hear?
I like to hear the voices of gods!
Kadon doesn't recoil at all.
Stories. Stories about knights are my favorite. I've seen angels fall and gods weep.
Don just doesn't even flinch. Just... Oh, the stories of knights. About how they are brave and virtuous, yes. How they save princess from castles.
Virtuous little bit. Nothing more. Nothing less.
The cage rattles as you see 3 hands grip the bars, 1 of gnarled and rotted bone, and 2 weak and malnourished little pale gray hands. Her face gaunt and her teeth, the gums so rotted back that they look elongated and spiked. Golden tears dripping from her eyes. You see a wing coiled out from under the rags that adorn her from one side of her back. Fully feathered, but the feathers have rotted and turned black. A wing on the other side fused with an extra arm where you can see that skeletal hand coming out, not quite fully formed, and bits of old, rotted, unnurtured flesh just slowly dripping away. Hunched, malformed, barely human.
Well, perhaps one day, when I myself learn how to read, I can come help read you stories. Or tell my own stories.
Tell me the stories. Tell me the stories of the daddy who didn't want you. Tell me the stories of the monster inside.
Their mouth opens as their face goes slack, and you just hear the sounds of a dying bear.
I need to make a wisdom save.
Yes, you do.
Six.
As you feel yourself slipping, you're immediately jolted forward as the Kraken pinches the back of your neck and slams you up against the cage, getting you closer to their face. You are not a monster. As he squeezes the back of your neck. Because if you were a monster, I put one child behind bars. I will not hesitate to do it again. You can be healed. She cannot. Do you understand?
This is so this is just Kadon acting out of habit when he gets his face pushed into a cage.
Yep.
Is he is going to retaliate, and he is going to grab his hand and turn around and punch his dad in the face.
All right, roll the hit.
22.
That does not hit.
It's just instinct.
As you go and swing, you grab his wrist and pull him forward. You go to swing and he juts back, kind of sliding back a bit. You see him kind of open his hand in almost the same way you've seen Malachi kind of like rear his hand back and get ready to claw something. He closes his fist.
Do not push my face into cage.
You cannot have any repeats of Tagora. It is not your fault. What lies within inside of you? It is a byproduct of that vile place. And when the time comes, we will burn it to the ground, or we will deal with the monster that is inside of you. But you do not raise cities without any order. Tagora is a supply port. Now we cannot go there. Now we need to send envoys there. Now that is a problem. Now
You think I had control?
I know you
think
didn't. Which is why I'm saying and showing you exactly what is wrong with her. She is a monster. She has no control. If I could kill her and make sure she could never see another sunrise, I would, because it would be mercy. Killing your demons is not mercy. Your demons need control.
I have tried for 25 years to try and control what is inside of me. It was weaponized for 12 of those years. You cannot say I do not try.
I know you try. But you need to understand, I will not be here forever. Eventually, you will be separated from me, taken, going your own way, whatever it may be. I don't see you as a monster. I do not see you like that. But the rest of the world will. Prove them wrong.
And what if I can't? Will you throw me in cell?
It was hard enough doing that once. I don't not want to get to the point where I have to do it again. But if another Tagora happens,
as long as I have been with you, my fits of rage have not been this severe.
what has changed?
I do not know. But I saw everything I did. It is like other person has control of me. I saw him break man's hand to cast spells. The worst part of it all is that part of me. It remembers things I don't. It recalled Uno. I do not know where I would have seen her before, but it remembers. We need to fix color if you do not wish me to lose control again.
What will it take to fix your collar?
I do not know. The sadist made it. I do not know magic. I do not wish to know magic. All I know is I need the collar. So unless you want to go find the sadist herself, I do not have a lead as to where we can start.
I do.
And what would that be?
We got to go back to Concordia. Which will require money and papers.
So what do we have to do to get there?
We'll talk about it in the morning. The Vanguard might need to take a small crew and a smaller ship and go yourselves. I cannot set foot on Concordia. Not unless you want to let the bear out there too.
I wish I would never have to see that part of me again. That is why we need to get it fixed. Katan's gonna start walking out.
Katan.
Yes, Captain.
I love you, son. But I am worried for you.
Kadan will kind of just like relax his shoulders, shake his head a bit. I worry about myself every day and what I might do to you all. I need to go tell or go do what I was telling Malachi to do and meditate.
He nods and turns back to the cage.
I would like to learn how to read so I can tell her stories. And then he walks away.
Everybody else.
Well, how is anyone supposed to follow that up? Do you have a picture of her model?
I can grab it.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna snip it here for other people to see.
Here, yeah, I'll grab a not downward shot.
Because, holy shit, I snuck in when as soon as he flipped those doors open, I'm like, oh, I'm seeing what's behind the cage. I saw it before everything was going on. I was like, holy shit.
She's mangled.
Oh, she fucked up.
For those, for
that our
the big bone.
that is a byproduct of kind of the hunters, but mainly Castiel. That is so for those that because I understand it's a confusing situation. She caught lycanthropy through, her father having it. But she also caught a disease called angel rot, which is a byproduct of the angels falling during the divine cataclysm. And angel rot gives you some of the similar properties of a fallen Aasimar, but your body is not built like an Aasimar to withstand them, so you slowly rot from the inside. And you mutate. And you slowly lose your mind.
It's caused from the falling of the angels.
Yes.
Did no one hit her?
No, like when the angels fell, it left a like divine dust, a divine radiance in the air.
She caught angel COVID.
She has angel cancer, effectively.
Can I ask a world question?
Yes.
When the angels fell, did their bodies just stay there, or like what happened?
All the bodies started to rot, and that's
immediately.
Not immediately, but over time. And some people took those bodies because they were going to bury them, and those bodies rotting in the material plane caused a disease.
Bro, someone was selling some fucking angel parts.
100%. There are people that sold it, but a lot of those people died. There was a plague that went through Seltul. There was a plague that went through.
A fucking course there was a plague that went through Seltul.
There was a plague that went through a good chunk of Ebonvale.
We're all them locked down for years.
The angel rot plague got so bad that a lot of people died.
Like this?
Everybody who gets angel rot, they like, so the stages of angel rot are you start to mutate, you start to hear the messages of gods, or what you assume they are, but they are the divine final screams and whispers of the dying angels. So you just start to speak crazy religious bullshit, and then you also have an ability to tap into the astral wavelength, which allows you to mimic certain sounds. Basically, you become a walking fucking horror show. People sprout wings. People sometimes elongate.
And she can't die because of her father's curse. On top of the lycanthropy.
She can't.
Working for the dogs or whatever.
So because of him being a part of God's mongrels, the three of them, Cobb, Sinclair, and the Krakens, souls are missing, causing them not to be able to die. They just resurrect every day if they do die, and it's also afflicting her.
But does she not have a soul?
A part of their soul is missing, and it's stuck in a phylactery somewhere. Anyway, we can get into that later. But
I would have talked to Sinclair.
Yes, but because of that, when she dies of this disease, it resets, and then she's a normal little girl again, and then she gets sick again, and then it slowly takes her again, and she slowly loses her mind.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, it's real bad.
We got a cleric and a paladin here.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna
Let
figure
us
it out.
in there, Kraken. We'll purge your daughter.
Perform a fucking exorcism.
I will state, angel rot is catchable, just like the crystalline disease of Crystal Blight. It is catchable.
I am immune to disease.
Let's see who gets it first.
Let's see who gets it first. 80%.
Like for those, because I did get a comment on one of the YouTube videos. For those who are like, oh my god, I can't believe he locks his daughter away. Like, it's because one person gets angel rot, and this entire grotto is condemned.
Right.
Yeah. It's bad.
How do you get infected? Kadam being that close, is that bad?
No, so we're not trying to get infected. He shoves my face into the cell.
Right? Right?
He's smart enough to know what would take.
It takes like a scratch or a bite or something.
Regardless, Kadam's climbing this mountain right now.
I'm gonna climb the highest mountain.
But as I'm working around, I'm sort of keeping an eye on Sinclair, seeing when he's gonna take a break, maybe go to his room. So I do want to speak to him kind of privately.
He will work into the night. I will let you know.
Why are we the same?
He's going to be working for quite some time. It won't be till about 2 a.m. To when he stops to go sleep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. Then around sunset, I meditate, but then I get right back to work, and I'm just keeping an eye on Sinclair.
Okay.
I want to speak to him.
Anybody do anything else from now until 2 a.m.?
Kadon climbs the mountain and meditates.
Okay.
4 of us are sitting around this table here, I think. I think Flint joined us after practicing with his sword.
Swinging the guilt blade.
The guilt blade!
Yeah. I was thinking of a joke to make there, but you got it. You landed.
I don't know where you are. Where'd you go?
I'm in the fucking... I'm in the goddamn water. How did that even happen? I was sitting in the...
How did that happen?
He's drowning.
I don't know. I was in the tavern. I got myself.
Oh, okay.
I'm just making my way slowly.
Making my way back to town. Well, as you're getting yourself back in, everyone's kind of around the table. You're all sitting. You're all relaxing. Malachi, do you come back and join everybody? Or you just stay by yourself for a bit?
If time's passed, I'll go with
Time has passed, yeah. Like, it's
Okay.
the sun has set, or is setting.
I guess so. If they want me there.
You would hear a howling scream come from the mountains.
What?
Which way?
Towards where the cage is.
Oh.
The door's still
You just
open.
break up.
What I miss?
Only Malika hears it?
No, all of you. All of you would definitely... I apologize to the neighbors.
I apologize.
You would hear a...
What?
I had to get
Oh,
real far.
shit.
Just screaming.
Fuck me. I can't ignore that. God damn it.
Did anybody else hear that very weird scream just now?
Should we check that? Or...
Where do you think it came from?
Can I tell where
Also,
it came
should
from,
we check
DM?
it right now?
We heard it come from the mountains.
You heard, yeah, you heard it come from the mountains. Malachi can tell it's from the cage as he's walking. back
Isn't
in.
it the mountains where a Kraken's secret you have to join crew or die to know is?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Sounds like it.
So, should we not just assume it is that? Because, I mean, only really you know who or what it is, Mint and Flint. I have no idea, neither does Magnus, because we chose not to stay.
Mm.
So, do you think it is that, or should we go check it out? Because if
Can
go
you drag
see
me over there?
I don't really want to have to then be like, I stay on crew forever, because what if I don't want to join crew?
Understandable. I think.
The door was locked very tightly. Like Uno and I tried to get in there when we found the door to begin with, and then he said,
What?
you know, he was gonna open it, or maybe he didn't open the door. No, it wasn't Uno. It was Kadon. Sorry. And no, I don't think so. Me and Kadon and Kraken did go over there, but
If I see people coming over, I'm gonna climb down from the mountain and go stop them.
It's just me, huh?
would you be coming
Um,
down the mountain after that?
I'm coming!
You're coming. You're literally coming down the mountain when she comes, as Uno is walking up.
Oh my god.
As you are all talking and I'm dying inside, Sinclair just closes the book with a heavy just. It's his daughter. His daughter's in the cage. That's the secret.
He just tells them?
Wait, I thought we weren't supposed to know this.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
well, Dimitri is a pretentious little princess when it comes to certain information. It's his daughter. You don't have to join the crew or die. It's his fucking daughter. She has a disease. She's dying. Then she wakes up. If she's fine, she catches the disease again, and the cycle repeats. It's awful, but the whole crew will die. That's it. That's the
Is this
book.
contagious?
It's very contagious.
Could you not heal her? Magnus, you are holy folk, and I know holy folk can cure lots of disease.
Oster, it sounds very complicated. She dies, catches the disease again, then dies again, eternally. It sounds like a curse. I'm not that skilled of a cleric yet to be able to get rid of something like that.
Angel rot is a disease. However, it seems to ignore purification via divine magic.
Angel rot?
Angel
Have I ever heard of
rot.
that?
No.
I've never heard of angel rot. Oh wait, have I? Would I have heard murmurings of it? Where I was traveling around?
You might have heard murmurings of the rot. That's how people refer to it in Akamar.
Is it like when we travel around Seltul and people kept going, "Oh, the rot! Be careful! Cover mouth! You could get rot."
I love it.
Yes.
Is it that rot?
Yes.
Oh, that's very bad.
It's a Seltul rot.
I don't really know where it came from, but it was in that area, that's for sure. Lots of it.
It was all over the world. It never hit like the Angel as hard as it did everywhere else. Saltul and Akamal got hit with the worst of it. Ebonvale and Akamal got hit with the worst of it.
Seltul is Ebonvale.
It is a problem. It is a very nasty disease. It's not as prominent as it was some 10 years ago, but it is still rearing its ugly head. Most of those
Why
who
doesn't
get
her
it,
death cure the disease?
it's something to do with her. When we die, the three of us, I guess 4, including her, we're not being rebirthed. We're not being reincarnated. Our wounds are just healing. And we come back a shell. We still hurt and are feeling such pain from whatever took us out the last time. It's not like we're coming back at 100% and ready to fight. We're usually down for the count. It'd be no different if we were to kill Asta here and you were to bring him back, Magnus. It's just something that isn't here is bringing us back. The God's Mongrel's ship, to be specific.
Since you're telling me this, I do know that you, Cobb, and the Kraken are all undead.
Undead is a crude way of putting it, yes.
However, I do understand that with the explanation you just gave me, but through divine sense, you show as an undead.
Yes. When you die enough, it's something I learned. There's a novel I picked up at some bookstore when I was out Seltul's way. It was a small novel on reincarnation, revenants. When you die over and over and over again, death's stench has a cling to you. It wraps around you like a tether. And even if you are as lively as a newborn baby, it's still there. You have crossed a veil and been pulled back. The matron's claws are dug into you and they leave a mark. That's why we resonate as undead.
There's nothing else negative that happens with being ensorcelled in this energy.
Not as far as I'm aware. I know some of the individuals in the God's Mongrels that have died enough times that they end up losing their minds, sometimes losing their humanity. But those are the ones that would die for combat advantage.
So you lose your mind after a while.
After some time, yes.
So many deaths, anyway.
There was one member. His name was O'Leary. He would put himself, like on a spring system, like a very bendable piece of wood, and launch himself onto the enemy ships, or even put himself in like a large cannon and shoot his body, his corpse, at enemy ships, and they'd crash through, and he'd be all broken and gnarled, and they would be horrified. They think we just shot a body at them. And then he would resurrect and try to wreak havoc as best he can. He would usually die a few times on the ship itself. The people who see it as an opportunity, as a gift, those are the ones that end up losing their mind fastest. I try not to die as much as any of you. But it still happens from time to time.
So there is nobody that can break your curse, I take it, because you're still cursed.
I would have to go and find the forged shepherd.
What if we went and asked the hunters that saved the world? Think they could cure you?
I think they have better...
You know, the one Kadans hate.
I think they have better things to do than to cure a random pirate who came to their doorstep asking them for help.
Maybe.
We are all bound to the Forged Shepherd's ship. There is a item there. I've never seen it. It's in his cabin, and that's all I know. It might be even on his person. But we are bound to it. And without that item, we cannot break it.
Is he still around? How did you guys get out of his custody?
There was a bit of chaos, and we saw an opportunity and we took it.
So you jumped ship, he's not dead?
Oh no, he is not dead.
Oh.
He taps his fingers on the table. Asta, push that table closer to mine. Malachi, Flint, Mint, everybody come sit down.
Oh?
We're going to have a talk.
Great.
So, you want me to...
Malachi's like another one.
Yeah.
No, don't worry, you're not in trouble. This is... I need to be honest with you, as much as the Kraken is weary of some of you and favoritism over others, I need to be completely transparent with the lot of you. Billy, darling, can you kick everybody the fuck out of here? On it. As he lumbers out and starts just like picking people up and pushing them out of the tavern, out of the back doors, out of the front doors, and closes the door. He picks up a table and covers the hole in the wall. Does anybody know where Uno and Kadan is?
Last I heard, Kadon was going... He had that talk with the Kraken. There was that scream earlier. Maybe Uno went to go check that out.
Malachi, you're quick. Asta, you can fly. Could one of you go fetch them?
Sure. It is kind of dark, so I would need someone to come with me who has better eyesight.
All right. Malachi, I guess you are going to be hoofing it then.
Great. All right.
I need like a messenger hook. But
That's
Yeah,
okay.
I had
fly
a-
and I carry Malachi.
I had okay.
You're not carrying me.
I had a bird. It was shot.
of course it was. Bloody pirates.
Steven comes and just sits in the corner with you.
Oh, cute.
I
Do it,
love
Steven.
Steven.
Old cheek
Pull,
monkey.
pull out a chair for him.
Yeah. He's his own chair.
Pets it.
He like pulls up onto the chair and like he puts his feet on the table.
His toesies.
Uno, you
Yes.
make your way up the mountain and Kadon comes down and stops you.
Yes.
I would not bet this Kraken's business. I will tell you what is there, but I think it is best to leave him alone.
She's kind of gritting her teeth, looking at the doors. Okay. You sort of touched my holy symbol. Don't tell me anything you shouldn't. Don't get yourself in trouble.
After what had just happened, I don't think I can get in more trouble.
Who's coming to fetch them, by the way? Is Asta flying or is Malachi running?
I was gonna fly and carry Malachi so he can be the
He does not want to be carried.
Yeah, I was gonna say Malachi did say
no.
fuck that.
I didn't want to be carried. I still got carried.
One of you
I
bites.
guess Malachi's running because
Your
I
legs are
cannot
blowing
see in the dark.
Am I running?
Yeah, because I cannot see in the dark.
All right,
All right.
Malachi, you're just so rushing off.
Yeah.
If you need,
I'm sniffing.
you need to talk about anything, you can talk to me, Kadon.
Not right now. I am like. I do not know what it is, the expression, but it was like. It is like when Beast is cornered. And then it's tense. I was going to go meditate, but then I saw you coming over as I look at the Kraken slowly approaching.
Oh my god! I was about to say, oh my god! See, I thought that was Malachi coming up behind me. That scared the shit out of me.
As he slowly approaches.
She would notice that Kadon is kind of just staring at him and not with like the normal like father.
That is
stare,
my
like,
dad.
Oh, that
it's
is
a
my
very
dad.
it's a very kind of like
Dad hit me for the first time. Look.
it's like
Oh.
it's an on edge look.
Ah, here we fucking go.
Malachi, roll for sniff.
Sneeze, do I get advantage?
Yeah, you
Does
get
he
advantage
say
on
anything,
sneef.
or does he just stand?
Oh, I
behind
need the sneef roll first.
me? Okay.
The sneeze.
Fuck.
The
Which dice
sniffer.
do I
Use your schnoffer.
The sniffer.
You need a dice for the natural 20, just a big old nose.
Roll the sneeze.
Just fucking looming behind me.
Is this survival?
Yes.
Okay. 18.
You can definitely pick up Uno's scent.
What's it
My-
smell like?
Smell like linen and clean. Because she's obsessively clean.
Actually,
Not sticky.
that's not true. Yes, to a common werewolf, a common dog, you smell like clean linen and you're just obsessively clean. To a fey werewolf, you smell different things. You smell spirits. You smell blood and regret.
I can smell
Nice.
regret.
Nice.
Oh my god.
I smell Uno.
Specifically,
Fair enough.
you smell old blood.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I just,
Delicious.
I hope at one point in this campaign, Malachi gets to say, "I can smell your shame."
Yes.
I wanna say I can smell your fear.
Let's go.
As the Kraken walks up, looks to both of you. Can I help you with anything, Uno?
I mean, I don't know they're coming, so. There are things I wanted to discuss with you, but I look at the doors. They can wait if you're busy.
I am done. What do you need?
Kadan, could you... Sorry, give us a moment again.
Yes. Kadon climbs up here.
Man. Yeah, she just doesn't know what happened, but... About Tagora. If you're going to be angry or punish someone, let it be me. I should have done more to prevent what happened. I don't know if you can say we were lucky, but the bear mostly killed Coalition. And you should tell Kadan you're proud of him for overcoming the bear, even if it was just this once. I've known too many parents who wish they said they loved or were proud of their children more instead of angry. There's a couple of things I need to say. Like, forget about taking me to that sunken ship I was on. I probably won't find anything useful, and it would be a waste of your supplies to go there. And if I can, I'd like to be asked to be taken somewhere else. Called the Platinum Isle. Yeah, and then I just keep going. She's gonna fucking say everything she needs to say. Last time we spoke, I noticed your hesitation, and though I appreciate it, it's not necessary. I'm not like Kadan. There's no need to be delicate with me. You don't have to worry about upsetting me or anything like that. So always say what you want. Tell me things you could only say to the mirror or tell me to fuck off. I don't care. I also want to apologize. I feel like I might have given you some hope I shouldn't have. I think I gave the impression that I'm someone more capable, someone better. Going out there to that city made me realize just how inexperienced both Kadan and I are. The more I speak to him, the more I see he's just a little one. And I know you care for him very much, which is why I don't think it's a good idea for me to be the one to look after him. She hesitates and touches her holy symbol. The truth is, I'm the reason my mentor and I lived in isolation for 3 years. I'm the reason we didn't go anywhere, or I didn't meet many people. I'm not a proper paladin like my mentor. Kadan can trust me, but he should at least be guided by someone more capable.
Don doesn't need someone capable, he needs a fucking dog. And that is what you are. I didn't place hope in you like you were some type of loving mother to guide him into a sunset. Kadan needs a dog to keep him from becoming a monster. He needs some tiny semblance of the pit
with him at all times. You remind him, both versions of him, apparently, of what once was and what lies within.
I can't be that for him.
Then don't. It was a request, it wasn't an order, it wasn't a demand.
Has the bear ever spoken to you?
Once. Barely. Huh. He smiles. It was through gritted teeth, as he was falling back unconscious after Mori hit him very hard with an anchor.
Well, at least next time if he comes out, he'll have a target. Because he knows me, which isn't a good thing. Especially since I don't know him.
He looks at you. We'll take you where you need to go. You do what you have to do. Help this crew however you're going to help them for as ever long you're going to help them. Whether you're just focused on mothering the Vanguard or tending to the ship's needs, I don't care. But don't feel like you need to apologize. There was no misplaced faith. I know what you are. You're no different than the rest of us. So he walks away.
Okay.
The Malachi, I don't know if you actually moved yourself, but you would be finding them as the Kraken passes you, and oh, there you are. I see your blue glowing in the night. The Kraken would pass you as Uno and Kadan are kind of seen on the rocks here.
I give him a nod as he walks by me.
He doesn't acknowledge you. He just walks past
cool.
you. He
I'm like,
he seems
okay, never mind.
seems in a mood. Yes, he seems very, very agitated.
Cool. Who do I sneak?
What a drama queen.
Listen, I rolled to see if he was about to hit you, so.
Oh, please, that would have been amazing.
You would sniff de Uno, just standing there from where Kraken was walking from.
Yeah, I'm just staring at the door, just sort of, she's silently muttering to herself. If you heard anything, it'd just be like prayers. Just praying for her in there. I have no idea who she is still.
Did he tell you about her?
No.
I assume not a conversation.
Different conversation. Do you need something?
Yeah, where's Kadon?
Do I see where he went?
Yeah, you would see him sitting up on the rocks.
Yeah, I just point up to the rocks.
Oh.
He has his eyes closed, just kind of trying to meditate.
I think him and his father had a talk.
It's a tense day. Alright, I like whistle up to get Kadon's attention.
With this being the second disturbance to his meditation, he is not happy.
You would see it's Malachi down there, whistling at
He's
you.
still irritated.
Okay.
It's like, you know, like the one bad thing happens and just kind of everything inconvenient after that just is upsetting. It's the kind of mood.
That's fair. I will state. Did you come down or?
I'll look down and what?
Everyone's in a mood right now. Sinclair wants to talk to us.
About?
I don't know. But important enough that you send me out here to look for you both.
You know how long it will take.
No.
I'll climb down. And just say I'd rather be alone right now, but okay.
I know, bud, but he said it's important or something. I don't really remember.
I'm gonna do something I've never done. Come up to the Kadon. I'm gonna take my holy symbol off my belt. I'm gonna hold it out to him. Here.
He'll look down at it.
Just before you can go meditate, focus on this. Know the shape with your fingers. Feel how cold it is. Feel the rays of the symbol.
You hear the words of the Kraken resonating in your brain. Faith is a plague.
Me?
Yes.
I'm not talking about faith though. It's just.
I know. I'm just.
It's a fidget toy at this point.
Get your platinum dragon spinners here.
Just hold it, like, just fucking spin it like a fucking fidget spinner.
Yeah.
Just something to distract you while we're listening.
He'll hesitantly take it. Very hesitantly.
I will state, by the way, I saw the message in the Discord chat about what the fuck is that Slender Man. That is a custom Hero Forge model that was undownloaded. So it's probably like an old version of the Kraken or one of y'all that I didn't delete the model. So when I undownload it, it just becomes this unknown shape.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
That's fair.
Can you move us over there? Or at least me, because I don't feel like dragging my mini over.
I'll move all three. Oh, okay.
I'm going.
Well, I'll move you two then. Your sword is so useful, fucking Malachi. I can just see you from anywhere now, without your light on.
I'm glowing.
Yeah. I was like, "Are you over here?" And I just saw the little blue in the night. And I'm like, "Ah, there you are."
Is that me out there? No, that's Minka. Okay, here I am.
As you all make your way back into the tavern proper. Any conversations going on in the tavern while you're waiting for everyone to come back?
Not really any conversation on Minson unless someone starts one with her, but she's gonna pull out her journal and just whip up a quick little note thing, and she'll kind of just like casually slide it off to Malachi as he comes in whenever he sits down.
I'll sit down next.
The Kraken does come in, grabs a barrel from behind the bar, and leaves and goes upstairs. And you hear a door slam.
Grabbed a barrel.
He seems to be in a very good mood. Must have been a good walk.
I love that I continue to be a menace to him.
You're weighing on that man's psyche.
Yeah. I live rent free in that guy's mind.
You fucking do.
Oh, also, was that sarcasm or a blatant disregard for someone's emotions?
Both. I thought it'd be funny to lighten the mood.
Okay. So you did understand. Good for you. Okay, I could not tell that you knew that.
I have heard Malachi use sarcasm whole lot. Thought I would try.
I'm glad I'm rubbing off on you in good ways.
I think so, maybe.
Speaking of rubbing off, I would like to see that. What's so funny?
Where's your mind at,
Still doing
Magnus?
phrasing?
Oh, you want to see the rock? Oh, sure. What? Here we go.
Did I ever I think I saw it once before, but I don't know of this religious symbol.
You've seen it, but it is. Make a history check with disadvantage.
Before he does that. Oh, I also forgot I picked this up for you, Magnus, and he'll hand over the book of ancient gods and stuff that he picked up from the book vendor. I forgot to give.
Yes, it's
Lovely.
it's a
Could I use this perhaps to try
to negate the disadvantage. No. So like that is a book of
It's probably not gonna be in there.
it is a book of faiths and stuff. Not so much ancient gods, but a book of faiths.
That's just what I wrote the book as in my inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Book of the old gods.
What's your roll?
14.
You recall the stone is a symbol you've seen painted in the jungles. Primarily, yeah. The jungles of Lythandriel. More so towards the Towering Divide, which is a large kind of almost cloud-piercing mountains within the jungles that separates the jungles from the deserts. You would see it kind of over there, or any jungle that leads off in that direction. Like even on the edge, you would see like maybe that symbol painted on some rocks.
On the edges of the desert, find the jungle.
On the edges of like the jungle, like even towards like Dresden and different parts of the map, like you would see that symbol in quite a few different places. Like here, I'll just screen share here for y'all.
I got the map open. I'm just trying to find Dresden.
Dresden's the big cookie.
The big cookie! It does look like a chocolate chip cookie.
It does look like a big cookie. Can y'all see my? Can y'all?
Chocolate juice.
Or in the middle? Yeah.
Smoking a little bit
Can
on
y'all?
top.
Can y'all see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would see these symbols like along the jungle edge, anywhere that leads to like that would go off in the direction of these mountains. So like along the jungle edge, all over here. They're not like a wall, but you would see the odd one around these areas of the jungle, towards where the mother tree is. To like it's a symbol that the Sakara people, certain tribes use.
Sakara, I wrote that down. That's the flesh skinning ones, right?
The Sakara people are the
Sakara's people skin people is what I have in my notes.
the Sakara people are the lizard folk. It's the general term for the lizard tribes that live in the jungle. They do skin individuals that come into the jungle, but you know, not just people. They'll skin monkeys too.
Skin everything.
Oh, great.
Okay. Humans skin everything too, besides their own people. And then they deem it crazy. I don't know what's up with that.
You make one purse out of your neighbor, and you're deemed a psychopath.
Make a purse out of a monkey, no one bats an eye.
So it's
Fucking heresy!
just a bunch of Dennis Reynolds. I'll turn you into a bag.
But yes.
A glass box.
So they're also in the southwest, so it's not always just ringing kind of the outside of Dresden.
It's not all ringing, like, it is, you can kind of see, like, it's very sporadic. Like, in total, there's maybe, not to give you an exact number, but, like, there's maybe 10 of these rocks throughout the entire jungle that you would see the symbol on. Like, it's not common, but you have,
personally seen one
you've
before?
personally seen one, yes.
Cool. Oh, how peculiar. I've actually seen this symbol in the jungle in places. I believe it's some sort of symbol that the Sakara people will draw. I don't know what it means, but I mean, the Sakara are your answer, I think. To that stone, anyway.
Who are the Sakara exactly?
They're like lizard folk of the jungle.
Oh.
Do I know if are they tribal? Do they have a civilization?
They are, so that, like, Sakara is like the general term, kind of like human. Like, there are tons of different tribes. There are like the Crocs, and like they're all different types. They're all kind of scattered throughout the jungle, and they're very reclusive. You know when you're in there.
Lady is considered a Sakara as well.
Yeah. Talene is one of the few that left and kind of went off to do their own thing.
Were you have anything to say?
I was just gonna say they're very, like, reclusive. You know when you're in their territory because you're usually on a spike or being eaten.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Neat.
What was her name? Irene?
Talene.
You know, not sure how much Talene still knows about everything back. I don't even know if she's from there originally, but might be something to bring up to her. She's technically a Sakara, but there's a lot of different Sakara, so I don't know if she would, but worth a shot.
Okay, but I don't think she recognized anyone that looked like me there, so it's a little bit weird, but I will ask.
It is. Are you assuming that this has something to do with your birth? Because I don't know if that's the case.
I don't know much about anything. I just assumed too big a coincidence.
You know lots about stuff. You know about the cell tool rot.
True! That's very bad.
Love him.
I live for Asta solely because I know the inspiration he comes from, and I adore that person as well. But anyway, as you all gather, as notes are passed, as stones are looked over, Sinclair sighs and kind of looks at all of you.
Kadon's is looking down.
You have my holy symbol.
Do you need to go, little cub?
I'll be here if you need me to.
It is important. So thank you.
He just nods.
When we were part of God's mongrels, we did the dirty work for the Coalition. We were their attack dogs, a scapegoat for war crimes, their reason to get away with things they weren't allowed to do, both before the war broke out and after the war broke out. Concordia was a free city. A city big enough that people considered it a nation.
It used to be a divine, shining beacon of Lythandriel, of the Coalition. A city of prowess. Some even called it Lythandriel Seltul. So when it fell to anarchy, to pirates, to thieves, the Coalition didn't take it lightly. And though they wanted to get it back, they knew it was impossible. Until they had the mongrels. So they sent us. With a fleet of Coalition naval ships. And in the chaos and the fires, we escaped. The Coalition announced themselves to Concordia. This got the pirate lords that were divided to unify. They were in agreement with each other, but now they were together against a common enemy. The biggest fear that the Coalition had was that and the port burned all night. The smoke of the gunpowder of the cannons from both sides laid heavy, and it was enough for us to escape. It was enough for us to run and get into the city and hide. It was enough for us to make a name for ourselves and really be forgotten about. We were assumed dead. It's part of the reason we never gone after the forged shepherd. I don't know about Dimitri, but I don't want him knowing I'm still alive. I'm sure somewhere deep down he knows. He had his rules about confirming kills, about counting the dead, his rituals, his maniacal faith. But I'm afraid of what happens if he knows we're still alive. What happens to all of you? What happens to the crew? What happens to everyone? So we deal with our curse. We accept it. We live with it. That's why we don't just go out and break it. As he looks to Asta.
What did Asta say?
Why don't we just go deal with the shepherd?
So, you would rather live out your life forever with this curse, eternally, than going and finding him and to break it?
I don't know how to defeat him. I have planned over and over and over again different attack maneuvers and different ways to defend our ship, different ways to overtake another, ways to attack manor wars and a number of things, but I don't know how to defeat the Forge Shepherd and his fleet.
Is that why? It's just looking sort of confused. Is that why you look at me like you hate me? Do you think I'm one of them?
No. If you were one of them, you'd stink like a dog. You'd smell like one of us. As he looks to Malachi. I don't think you're one of them. It's an unfortunate coincidence that we are all mongrels together. No. You remind me painfully of Dimitri. Not of the Kraken, of the man I made sure stays away. And every day I see you trying or doing what you're doing, I see Dimitri coming out a little bit more and a little bit more. And you're a reminder of something I purposefully locked away.
What was Dimitri like?
Dimitri made Cobb look like a fucking choir boy.
Hey.
That's a bad thing, right?
I'm a choir boy.
I don't know.
Oh.
Is that what it is?
I don't intend. Sort of looking at Kadan. I don't want to inconvenience you. I don't try.
Sorry, Uno. What is it that about her that reminds you of Dimitri?
Look at her. I look at Malachi, I look at Mint, I look at Asta, I look at you, Magnus, Flint, even you, Cub. Each of you have this small little spark of hope, no matter how much pain and trauma and burdens that you bear, no matter what guilt rides on your shoulders, no matter what horrors you've gone through, there is still an ounce of humanity there. That fucking thing in the corner is a weapon. She lost her humanity long ago. And it pains me to look at her like that. Because you should have a life. You care for people. You want to fix people and protect them. You should be a normal fucking paladin. But no, you were broken. And it is painted across your entire fucking body, head to toe. You are a feral fucking dog. No different than Dimitri. The Kraken is a fucking muzzle for that dog.
I look to Sinclair. You might want to tighten the muzzle then.
Their expression never changes through all of this. Just sort of that I guess driving home the point of the hopelessness, the nothingness. She reaches into her pouch and pulls out her prayer book.
I'm gonna look over at Uno.
Would it just be like leather? Like what kind of book would he given me for it?
It would have been like a very common leather-bound journal. Like the cover isn't hard. It isn't like a hardcover with like reinforced wood or anything. It's just like
like a folded leather journal.
I sort of hold it up for a moment for everyone to see. It just has the letters prayer book on it. I go and I place it just in front of St. Clair. And I look around at everyone, sort of meeting everyone's eyes, considering for a moment. I'm sorry if this upsets any of you. And I'll open the book. Just to a random page. I'll let it flit open. And I'll step away so St. Clair can see.
It's just a face. Person.
Not just one.
Begins thumbing through the pages.
497 slaves. 1 guard. 248 of them had names. I know 371 of them are dead and how they died. I know every detail of their faces. I know what weapons they used or how they fought. I know some of their families and friends' names. I know the mundane things they told me. I know the deep secrets they shared with no one but me. I know what many of their last words are. I remember every single moment I had with every single person in that book. You're right. I don't have hope. I don't have a want for living, and yet I do. And yet I'm here because of them. This life, my life, is not for me. Not anymore. It's for them, for every soul lost in that pit. I'm still there with them. I never left the pit. I didn't know how to say it without showing you this. Because it's true, and I know it could be hard to trust me because of how I look, how I am. But that's why anyone should trust me, because my words are all that I have. I have nothing else. My words are me. And if that's worth nothing, then they're worth nothing, and I can't let that happen. I'm sorry I remind you of him being awful, but violence is all I know. And violence is the only thing that's ever made those people in that pit listen to me. And it's not fair that I get to live with this pain forever, and they get to carry on like nothing ever happened. It's not right that I'll carry the weight of everything forever, and they can walk away like nothing happened. So I will stay the violence that they made manifest. I'll be the dog that follows them. Loyal. And I'm sorry that I can't be anything else. Because this is now all that I am. Because they can have nothing else. I will give them vengeance.
He sighs. Continues turning page after page.
They're in my prayer book because they're who I pray for. I don't want anything, I don't need anything besides avenging them. So I pray for them, whether they hurt me, whether they hurt others, whether they were innocent children in that pit, and I glance at Kadan. Every face I saw there is in that book, and I pray for them as much as I can. And You all may see religion as a sickness, but it's what saved me. It's what's left. For me, it's what soothes my aching mind. Because I see nothing else. No, nothing else. I still feel their hands in mine, still feel their blood on me. Feel the way they trembled in fear or how they hurt me.
He closes the book.
I'm trying to remember how we got here.
He slides it back over.
I'll just take it and put it back.
We see religion as a plague because it was used as a whip to keep us in line. And that ignorance should stop, but it's hard to pull the barbs out of your back when it's all you saw, day in and day out. When it was used as a way to keep you chained to the deck. I'm sorry, Una. With that, we're going to go on a break.
Oh.
We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Put your camera on.
For being honest, McKenna was just busy in the background here doing a bunch of shit because the rabbit just got fixed, so I didn't want to turn it on and have her be a nuisance.
It looked real weird. Still shocked by that.
It looks like, yeah.
It looks like raw meat.
It looks like a chicken titty.
Yeah.
The bunny.
The rabbit shaved belly.
Yeah. Looks like raw meat. It freaks me out.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, my cats got fixed, and their asses just make them look like monkeys. Shaved.
Yeah. Was that?
That's pretty funny.
Is that why he had two little cheeks?
Yeah, because his butt's shaved. I don't know why they shaved his whole ass on both the boys. I was like, what happened?
When I saw that Snapchat, I'm like, why is booty out?
It was really funny.
Oh god.
Is this on your story?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
It should be still there.
Yeah, his little cheekies were out. Anyway,
Double cheeked up.
double cheeked up.
Double cheeked up.
Double cheeked up on the Thursday.
That's even the Snapchat.
Yeah.
Double cheeked up.
His little booty out.
Beautiful.
Oh, anyway. As you're all sitting around the table, Sinclair's sliding your prayer book back to you now and apologizing. We did what we had to. Worked a few odd jobs in the city to gain money. We got a crew. We made a name for ourselves. The Kraken was born. Yada, yada, yada. It's all history. They tried again. Years later. Cobb, the Kraken, and I have been sailing together. We didn't quite yet acquire the Wayward Sun. But the Coalition, with their newfound prowess, mustered another fleet, this time doubled in size, with pirate hunters, large warships, and the mongrels at the head of the fleet. They went for Concordia again. And I saw a fire build in Dimitri. He took the ship and he charged into the bay. Not waiting for anyone else, not talking to the pirate lords and devising a plan. He made a charge, and it inspired other captains to do the same. And they charged out into the bay. There was a clash, a ship-on-ship clash, not of gunpowder, but one to rival the first stage of piracy. Ships just ramming each other, people boarding and fighting one another. As ships burned, the clash moved from the water to the city. Dimitri and Cobb stopped being so valiant and self-sacrificing, and they started to just kill anything and everyone that got in their way. And the more that behavior built, the more anarchy set in. The city started to tear itself apart. This is where Cobb got his name, the Butcher of Concordia. And this is where the Kraken was banned from Concordia. After the fires settled, after the fleet fled,
We tried to gather supplies. But some of the merchants knew what Dimitri had done. Knew the riots he incited, knew that he was just as much of a fucking problem to Concordia as the Coalition was, and denied us service, and this caused issue. He did some things I hope he regrets. And so we set off. Most of our crew hasn't been back to Concordia. Most people who join up with us just accept it as part of the gig that we don't set foot into the one place every pirate wants to be. He is the only pirate to have a bounty on his head, both from the Coalition and also from the Pirate Lords.
When you say he and Cobbs just started killing, you mean
Anyone.
he...
Pirates that got in his way, bumped into him, they were cut down. He incited true anarchy. Killing blue cloaks, killing pirate hunters, mongrels, anyone who got in the way of what he was trying to do. Whoever he was running down. He hunted down a number of Coalition officers, kept looking for their special insignias in the chaos of it all, started collecting trophies. It was a harsh 3 days of blood and violence and war. The stench of gunpowder still sits in my nose. There's only one officer that got away from Dimitri. Richard Foley. Admiral, I believe.
He was in Torquora.
He was the red-haired one, right?
Yes.
I thought I recognized him.
The bear tried to blow him up.
Well, like father, like son.
I kind of shoot her a side eye when she says that. Or sorry, not she. I don't know why I was. Yeah, sorry, he.
I believe we'll have to go to Concordia at some point. There are things that we need that are there. But as to how we'll get there, I have no idea. But I wanted to be transparent with all of you. To our situation, to what is going on, to why I fear the shepherd. I don't know if he does, I don't know if Cobb does.
Do you think the Kraken would want to lift the curse for his daughter?
I think so. But I don't know how that works. It was news to us that it spread if we have children. We can only assume it was so that we didn't start shacking up with fellow mongrels and making a bunch of children. But it was an unintended surprise.
How is it she came about the rot?
We came upon a ship that was flying a yellow jack.
Hey.
A flag that flies above a ship, meaning a sign of disease. We didn't notice the yellow jack in time. We thought it was just a scuttled ship run aground. We stopped to gather supplies, and a few people got sick. Kraken went aboard along with Michaela, a few former crew that are no longer around, and Maury. Maury and the Kraken are the only ones to not get sick. They were exposed to something. Maury said it was a coffin that was aboard that looked broken, ruptured. Some of the crew got sick that went aboard, and one of them had an encounter with Michaela. I don't know. I don't know much other than that.
Her fate is a rather particularly cruel one.
I've never heard any of this, so
Personally, if it were
What's-
my daughter, I'd put her at the bottom of the ocean.
But she just comes back.
Not if you put a spike through her head. She would wake up and die. If she didn't,
suppose
she'd
it's-
drown.
Probably hard to do to from a parent to a child.
Yes.
what's this disease called?
Angel rot.
Ever heard of it, Ian?
No.
Mentor never warned me about it. Or anything?
You might have heard Lucky talk about the rot,
Fucking lucky.
but
Okay.
you wouldn't have heard much otherwise.
Okay.
DM.
Yeah.
Do I know about the Divine Cataclysm?
You would have heard a lot about it. For you, it was called the Severance.
Oh.
The Feywild has their own name for it.
Do I know what, like, about the whole thing that happened in the Feywild?
The Feywild,
You know, the whole Cassio coming to the Feywild.
So you would have known of an invasion in the Feywild, and then some type of cataclysmic event where the Feywild almost merged with the Shadowfell.
Oh god.
That
Oh my goodness.
That would be
had
cool.
repercussions, which birthed the Midnight Court.
Ooh.
So the Divine Cataclysm created the Midnight Court? Or that whole thing that happened?
There's the Severance, or the Divine Cataclysm, gave the Midnight Court like more prowess and more prominence. They were a very small, insignificant thing before then. They were like kind of bottom tier amongst all of the different Fey courts, and they very much are now up in the higher ranks and higher regard in family or families.
Okay.
Did I ever hear the Divine Cataclysm?
You would have read about it. You would have read about the death of gods.
You would have read about the death of Bahamut. The death of basically faith in general.
Okay.
Do I know the gods died?
Can I?
You actually wouldn't be you would be aware of like major ripples in the cosmos happened, but you wouldn't be like, oh, this god died and this god died. Like you wouldn't have a list, but you would have known like things happened enough to have the angels fall.
Did Archfey get affected in any way?
Yeah, a bunch of old Archfey died. They just crumpled and died.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I sent you a message, Kyle.
God damn.
Yes, you would. Very loosely, but you would.
Because of some of old Archfey dying, did newer ones
Yes.
get stronger later?
Yes.
Okay.
It's very much like a natural evolution. Like, you know, when a queen bee dies, another queen has to come about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of chaos and some things you wouldn't have experienced, some things you would, because like the Midnight Court is kind of isolated when it comes to a lot of the interminglings and the squabbles and the skirmishes and the fights of the other courts, because people just tend to leave the Midnight Court out of things as they are very different and very elusive. So, and their part of the Feywild is very different. So, people kind of don't fuck with them, as best as I can describe it.
Kadon will hand Uno back her holy symbol. Say, I remember the divine cataclysm. The king of our lands. He's who did it.
He what it?
The king of our lands is who did it. Or my old lands.
Where you from, Kadon?
Akamar.
Oh, I'm from there too.
I am too.
I'm not from there, but I've been there.
I remember the teleporting. I remember the island moving. I wake up. New shores on the horizon.
How old are you, Kadon?
30.
And how long ago was this?
The Divine Cataclysm was like 25 years ago.
26 and a half years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna look at St. Clair and ask, would you have any idea of when the arena opened?
No, not at all.
Did I even know that Akabar moved around?
Not really. Not in Verdulia.
Oh, yeah. Mostly just saw the sky.
Yeah.
My mother used to make little game of it. We would spy out what was on the horizon, see what new things we would see.
One man caused the divine cataclysm.
We were told to praise him as a god.
Huh.
You know, just eyes kind of glaze over. She's just kind of staring at the lamp on the table.
I'm not old enough to remember any any semblance of what that worship was. I just remember we had to pray to him in morning and at night. And that was part of... We did that in exchange for the peace that we had for the time we had it.
I don't know about all of you, but I think it's high time I get some rest.
I can continue this work, so you don't have to worry about it.
Sure. Mint, I'll have some maps for you tomorrow. We need to charter a course. We're setting sail within the next few days, so all of you make sure you gather whatever belongings you want to bring with you. Don't leave anything behind that you need.
Mint just
Well,
nods.
We are leaving tomorrow.
Within the next few days. Could be tomorrow, could be a few days from now.
And this is to this is to Concordia, or leading up to.
We... I don't know exactly where we need to go.
Kraken made a mention of us, possibly the Vanguard going on smaller craft to Concordia.
Be the only way. Kraken will be grabbed on sight, as will I.
He wants to make fixing the collar top priority.
It should be. Well.
Sinclair,
Yes.
can I talk to you in private before you retire for the night?
You can follow me. We're going the same way anyway. The docks are private enough.
Odd. Can I follow him?
Okay.
Well, before they go... Sorry, one last thing.
Nani?
Turns and looks at you.
Yeah, I guess just saying that. So, you've never seen me? And she'll look at Sinclair. He's never spoke of anyone that looks like me.
You're talking about the Kraken.
No. The bear. Or Kadan. Never seen me before.
Oh no, I don't remember you. Not before we met on the deck of the Wayward Sun. I will come back and talk to you tonight. But there is just something I must talk to Sinclair about.
Take your time. You just get to work.
Okay. As Sinclair heads off towards where their room is, anybody else going anywhere? Retiring for the evening? Getting hammered? What are we doing?
I go take a bath, and then I think I hang out at bar for a little bit.
One last thing. Did I see the Kraken eat dinner?
No, actually, you wouldn't have seen him eat, did he?
You know what? Actually, I'll leave him alone. You can get direct this way.
Is the bath like a one-person bath, or is it like a communal bath?
It's a... Wait, what do you mean communal bath? Like...
It's like a big hot tub.
It's a huge bath that Mori, Asta, and Kadan could all sit in together.
Oh.
Cool.
But
Are Malachi and Magnus about to have a bath with Asta?
I could make it hot tub.
but it's like you go and use it. If you close the door, no one else is gonna come in and use it on you. It's kind of like, you know, if the door is closed, there's someone's in there.
Is it bathtub bonding time?
Bathtub bonding time.
Asta, is your
This is
bath a
saucy.
private one? A private nude one? I don't know if you wear trousers in that.
I don't care if people see me. I was going to make water very warm and just kind of, would drink. You know?
That sounds very nice, actually.
Oh, you guys can come too.
Mind if I join?
Yes, you can join. But this is to, like, relax, and, like, drink. Anybody else want to come? Mint, Flint?
I think I'll pass on this particular bonding experience. Thank you. I appreciate the offer, though.
No problem.
I'm all right as well.
Oh, before Mint goes anywhere, I retake out my prayer book and I flip it to, like, not even flip it. She just sticks her finger and opens it because she knows exactly where every face on those pages are. She shows Mint, just a like headshot portrait of this very beautiful young woman. This is who you remind me of.
Oh. You're a very lovely jar.
Thank you.
You know, Uno, I just wanted to say, I don't know. It's okay if this falls on deaf words or whatever it be, but I just want to say, like, even if people see you as something with thorns, I still see a beautiful flower blooming out of it. And then Mint will just kind of, like, awkwardly get up and leave. and just kind of, like, kind of go sit at the edge of the docks and just look at, you know, the stars and all that.
Where on the docks?
You know, she'll probably just walk to the north side up here, just kind of.
Like the stone dock?
Yeah, stone dock. Just
Okay.
up there, yeah.
You would hear a quiet but siren-like song coming from the top middle mast of the Wayward Sun.
Ooh, she's a bit curious. She's got, like, I don't know. She's probably too naive to even know, you know, what sirens potentially are and if they're potentially dangerous. So,
Just looking up, you would see the silhouette of Thorin.
oh wow. Well, she'll kind of. Okay, in that case, she'll keep her distance and just kind of leave Thorin to herself, but she will kind of just enjoy the music if it is really nice.
It is. It's quite nice. Like, if you've ever heard, like, Witcher music, like that Witcher, like, haunting call that is in the soundtrack, it's very kind of reminiscent of that.
I thought it was like Little Mermaid. Oh.
No, it's much more like very like that I think it's called Scandinavian call singing, where it's like them just like hollering off into the hills. Yeah.
Yodeling.
If Thorin does come down while Mint is still, like, if they just happen to cross paths kind of thing, she'll comment that like how nice she sounds, but she won't kind of go out of her way to do it, I guess.
Okay. Anybody else? Just going to bath time or?
Well, I'll be heading out the door. But before I do, I guess I kind of wait until everybody else parts ways. And I say to Uno, hey, what Sinclair said there, don't take any of it personally. You're a good person. I've seen that. You care so much about us. Like, he doesn't know you. That's all. And then I just start to slowly walk away and head outside. And I get the sword back.
Yeah.
I like how both inmates are just like, hey, compliment, okay, bye.
yeah.
The
And
flint and mint special.
Yeah.
I love them so much, my children. My
and
sweet, sweet children.
yeah, and then like I'm like right outside. I go like right outside, right? I'm like over here, and I got the sword out again, and I'm just like, guilt is a weapon?
Nothing.
Nothing. God damn it. And then I just kind of walk away, and I go, I'm retiring for the evening.
Okay.
I finally eat something, but it's kind of like a forceful, like, making myself eat.
Yeah. And then the trio are having a bath together.
Yeah.
I hope this
Wanna go
goes
see it?
better than the first Syndicate bath time.
Cobb comes in and beats the shit out of one of you.
Austin's the only one who's got horns this time.
That's not true. Malachi has horns.
Oh shit, you're right.
Our first bath time as Syndicate was so awful.
I still have that entire session scripted out because I typed it all up and I sent it to Fudge. And I was like, "Shit went down." He's like, "What the fuck?"
We were just planning on having a nice little steam, a nice little stoop, and then one of us left without a horn.
Yep.
Oh no.
So, that's just sometimes how it goes.
It was the de facto talk shit, get hit moment.
Play stupid games you want.
I keep Stumpy away from that knife. First of all, look here, motherfucker. I just go no, and I pick him up by the fucking head.
You just make squabble noises and run up.
I tuck him under my arm like a football.
No. Rude. I'm sad that you noticed. I was making him go for the knife.
No! God damn it.
As-
My mother's senses are tingling. What's that? A knife?
A knife!
No!
No!
Oh my god.
As you are
Get your little ass over here as I continue to work.
getting ready to part ways with Sinclair, he looks to you.
Sinclair.
Yes. You alright, Cub?
To be honest, no. He showed me his mean side today when we went to go meet Michaela.
You're not bruised.
I'm too tough to bruise.
You would find a way.
He
So it
slammed
means
my
he
face.
showed restraint.
He slammed my face into her cell when I felt myself losing it again because he did not mention that she could call on our memories. And I instinctually, when I was reminded of my former employers shoving me into a cell, I swung at him.
It's okay.
He said if I lose it again, he won't be afraid to lock me in a cell. He said he's done it to one child. He won't be afraid to do it again.
Kadon. He... When we first found you, I didn't want to bring you along. Cobb didn't. None of the crew thought it was smart to bring you along. And he fought for it, demanded it, and when we all voted no, he, for the first time in over 10 years that I have known him, went against the good of the crew and got you. Brought you with us, taught you everything you know now. If it happens again and he locks you in a cage, you're not going to be like Michaela. Your cage would be this island. You would live here. You just wouldn't come out with the crew anymore. Because even if he was fully gone and back to his old ways, I don't think he has it in him to hurt you. I think you are his last chance at humanity. At a normal life. At the life he's dreamed of. Freedom and family. You are special.
I think the concern that I have is maybe he does truly care about me. But in those few moments he knew how to tear me back down. He knew every word to say to make me feel like I was back in the pit. I felt confined. I felt rage. And it was not the bear's rage. It was my own.
Sometimes I find taking a good long look into a mirror helps with clearing your head, with working out thoughts and plans and conversations. Maybe that's just what you need. It might not help at all, I don't know, but you have a right to be mad just as much as he does. He expressed it in the wrong way, but he often does.
Can I ask you another question?
Of course.
When you three turned into werewolves, was it like Malachi where he loses himself, or were you in full control?
I lost myself. My psyche split and I tried to tear myself apart. My beast saw my mortal flesh as prey, and I tried to tear my own arms out of the sockets. It's why my arms are so scarred. The flesh never really recovered from the damage I did to it.
So it was like other person, yes?
Yes. Cobb remained feral, but then regained control.
When you would talk to yourself in mirror, were you ever able to talk to that part of you?
No. But I do have someone I can converse with when I look deep enough. We all do.
I think I'm going to try and meditate and talk to this bear.
I think that'll be good. Maybe I can make a suggestion to...
Not to be in the grotto when I do that.
No, to the Kraken, if we could make a stop at Gran's. Maybe get maybe some tea to relax you, to help you with your meditation, help you find yourself. Gran has all types of things.
We shall see.
If we do, just don't listen to what she has to say. Old people are crazy. She pats you on the shoulder and heads towards the door.
Thank you, Sinclair.
Of course, Cub.
And I head back to the tavern.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You gonna go bath time, or...?
I'm going to talk to Uno.
Okay.
Mom time.
Any conversations in the bath real quick before I hop around here to others?
Yeah. Magnus pours an extra glass of wine just for the bath.
Just in the bath?
No. Another glass of wine, I said.
Okay.
Austin's gonna have big 2 tankards of whatever ale.
There's a dark ale. It's kind of like a almost like a Guinness. Like it's a thick dark ale.
Perfect. Always hungry. Extra meal. It's like before we get in, I heat up tub, and he'll just do his like. He'll just kind of stick his hand in the water and let his lightning energy just kind of boil the water for a minute or two.
Heats up the water. Very nice. Very toasty. A little bubbly. It smells like lavender and oats in the bath.
Nice.
Lovely.
We have not been able to do this. This is first time taking hot bath.
First time.
Yes.
When's the last time you bathed?
I used to just, get cloth.
Clean yourself.
Or when it rained, that's free bath.
That's not really how it works, but yeah.
Alright, I guess I'll be the first to test the waters then.
Okay. It shouldn't shock you. You should be okay.
Fuck, hope not.
No, that only... You have to have an active electrical circuit in...
He's just gonna point to himself. Active electrical.
But as long as you're not using it, please don't use it in the bath.
Sometimes
You'll
I
kill
just get
the
kind
rest
of
of us.
sparky.
Really?
I will
I'm not
find
sure.
out,
I'm
yeah.
not sure I want to get in here.
It's like bathing with a sentient toaster.
I see no sparky. Water's not kidding me. I don't know if it would. Would it?
Magnus just gonna dip a toe in now that Alice is in there.
Malachi just gets it.
As you like,
I die.
as you dip in, it is. Is anybody like
Are we like in like your skivvies? Are we buck naked?
Who's naked?
Yeah, like
Magnus has his shorts on.
okay.
Asa is just full flag and nothing.
Watts is warm. Cock out.
Yeah. I don't have fucking shorts or anything.
That is fair. Cobb had clothes for you. Cobb did not have undies for you.
Yeah.
Cobb doesn't have undies himself, probably.
He does free ball it, yeah.
It's a shame. You gotta let them breathe.
No.
Yeah. He wears a lot of leather pants.
We're not electrocuted then?
No.
No, but your hair does like kind of like poof up a bit.
No. The fuzziest people.
Magnus just like wets his fur down. So, Malachi, I actually wanted to pry into your information on some things, maybe.
Alright, okay.
Well, you seem like,
I start chugging the bottle.
I don't know how to say this, but I'm sure you might laugh at the request. You seem like an experienced lover of sorts. Someone who has experience in relationships.
I sure have some fucking experience,
Yeah,
yeah.
he came with funny smell when we were back at the tavern.
What?
What?
Huh?
What funny smell?
Something Feywild magic. He's not like Feywild.
Oh! Yeah, you were glowing, weren't you?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Glowing.
Yeah, you were glowing. Remember when you came downstairs?
After you
I
made,
remember this.
after you got the fuckings, you smelt like death. You smelt like a death blossom field.
But did I see myself glowing?
You didn't see yourself glowing, but you were aware that like when an imprint
There
is
is-
made, there's an aura.
Okay. Oh. Right.
It was very cool.
So, yes, are you someone who's had boyfriends or girlfriends and you've had a longer relationship, or you just kind of the hump and dump type?
I've had a few past relationships, also, you know, just have fun. That's mostly what I do now.
Just have fun.
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
I drink wine to just have fun.
Well, it soothes
Everything else
nerves.
has purpose.
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 Isn't the purpose to have fun? Doesn't that make it the purpose?
To feel good.
But to have another person for that?
I mean, you could do it yourself too, but it's not as fun.
What?
Oh.
Oh! No, I meant relationships, not more of just sex.
Uh-huh. Why you ask?
You know, there's a funny saying around my town for that kind of behavior. It's called pulling the monkey. If you know.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Wait, isn't that something you're not supposed to say?
No. It's just a joke. It was amongst us. They were, you know,
Oh.
they say that kind of thing, so we use it as a joke. Yeah. And everyone, no one else is wearing trousers here. I feel very awkward, but I don't.
I don't have any. I just assume this is what you do in Bath.
Well, if I were private, probably wouldn't be. But
Oh. I have no shame.
Me either.
it's not that. My religion kind of condones pulling the monkey, so to say, but not very much like. Doesn't condone. Sorry, I meant that as a negative, not the positive.
You're
But
supposed to pull monkey and tub? I thought we were just...
no, please don't.
Okay, alright.
Okay. But they don't really refrain from sex out of wedlock, but it's just everything must have purpose. Why are you with this person? What?
You have to have feelings. That kind of thing?
Feeling and something else afterward. Like, which is why a lot of times marriage happens and children and reproducing happens after that. But
How do you know if you have feeling for a person or if you just like the person?
Or
Like
below the
company
person.
or like the person? How do you tell the difference?
you've never had a kind of, it's almost like, you ever been giddy? Do you know what that means?
Like
Really
excited?
happy. Yeah.
Oh, like excited?
Like
when-
a like
know
what
what
is
my
often
rock is?
called butterflies in the stomach sort of thing.
When you feel your stomach turn in, but like not because it's bad, but because you're nervous.
Yeah, not because of seasickness.
And like not like you're hungry, like a happy turning?
Yeah.
It's almost, gosh, it's almost exciting and scary and happy.
Your heart beats faster, that sort of thing.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, maybe you don't know this, Asta. I'm sorry to break your virgin ears, but Malachi, I think you know. Sinclair and I have kind of have a thing at this moment, and I'm just not sure where it's going to go. I would like it to go further, but
In
Oh,
what
congratulations.
way? How far are you? Now I'm invested.
not far. Like we haven't.
You haven't pulled the monkey.
This is going to be a term that you've now brought upon yourself, Magnus.
I'm okay with it. I'm giving him permission.
Oh wait, do you need permission?
But precisely. No! Holy gods, no!
Uh-huh.
But I just don't know. I just don't really know these things. I know what happens. For the most part, people, they have kids. They get to place together. They go do stuff together. Yeah, Sinclair and I could do that, but he's also, the mastermind behind this pirate organization. He can't go to Concordia. I believe he's a good man.
Just under bad circumstances.
I think
I'm not
home
even
is
sure if
where-
it's that. He's a good man that's trying to help his friends who are quite dastardly. And he's doing a good job at it because the Kraken is who he is today, rather than Dimitri, who he described to us back in Concordia during those battles.
Do you want Sinclair to give up the pirate life? If it were to go that far between the two of you.
Yes.
Oh, that was fast. Oh, you did catch feelings, huh?
Oh.
I'm sorry, boy.
Okay.
No, it's not a bad thing. I'm just... Has Sinclair given any sort of sign that he is interested in taking it further?
Yes. I asked him, actually, today
about
it, and he said yes. I feel kind of bad a little, because he kissed me back at the other tavern on Sokora, and then kissed me on the cheek again when we got to the boat. But I haven't done, he's been scratching my back. I'm not doing anything for him. Maybe he
You need to
doesn't
put on a
expect
move.
anything, but yes, I do, but I'm just so inexperienced. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, it's a good thing you asked Malachi. He seems very knowledgeable.
Also, I didn't mean to just exclude you, but I assume you never had any relationship.
Have you been in a relationship, Asta?
No.
Okay, well.
I
What
was
that?
secluded by myself most of the time.
Wow.
But I
people
think I
learn.
understand warm fuzzy feeling you're talking about.
And you're gonna probably experience it sometime in the future.
I mean, is it like you want to be around person because they make you feel happy, or is it like you want to be around person because they make you feel like happy, like home happy.
I mean, have you also had any friendships before?
No.
Okay, so this is
You guys
going to
are
be even
friends.
tougher for you.
Yes. Because, like, I like
it's
being
kind of-
around everybody, but
Uh-huh.
I really like being around, like, Mint. Does that mean I have feeling for Mint?
Do you find Mint attractive?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So it might be a crush.
What is that?
but
When you-
I don't want
the
to
kind
trust,
of what
like,
is the kind of
that's
happy that you feel with Mint? Is it like the home kind? Because with this kind of goes along actually a touch of fear about like you're scared to not like slip up in front of them, scared to lose them or let them down. That kind
Are
of
you
thing.
afraid of showing them the true side of you?
I always show true side of me. What do you mean?
Oh, that's just you. Okay. Alright, well,
But I'm
next
supposed to
question.
hide self? Oh, this is very complicated.
Yeah, that's how often relationships work. They're just really complicated for some reason.
But like I like
Trust me.
Mint being around because she understands me, does not judge, and very helpful and nice. And
But
she is
if
very
another person came around
mm,
that would also understood you and is also very nice, would you still feel the same way about Mint?
Like, do you feel the same way about us?
Yeah.
as you do Mint?
I think you guys are very cool, but I don't think it's like the same way as me. I think you guys are very cool, like Malachi, very cool. I learned sarcasm from you, kind of. Magnus said so. And I think Magnus is very cool, he's very smart. Asta doesn't know very much stuff, and like Magnus teaches him. But I get good, I'm good at telling vibes. Like, you guys got good vibes. Cobb has bad vibes. Don't
Yeah.
like Cobb.
Osta, and this is no slight to you, Malachi, but
Yes.
and he puts his hand on his shoulder. I honestly believe you are the best person among this crew.
Thank you.
You have a
That's
heart of gold.
very low
I'm-
bar, but thank you.
You have a heart of gold coming from a lifetime of cruelty. A low bar. What?
The
I mean,
bar's
I don't
pretty
think
low.
I'm very good person. I hurt people. That can't be mean good person.
But you only
you-
hurt people that hurt others. The people that you care
That is
about.
fair. You know that
You
is
went
fair.
out.
So you are a good person, Asta.
Oh.
You risked
More
your
than
life
most of us
to
can
save.
say.
Right, and you risked your life to save the people in the town when Kadon was the bear, which
I thought-
was very dangerous.
Is that not what you're supposed to do? I thought.
It is, but not a lot of people would do that.
Oh.
It's a very noble sacrifice. It's more sane to just take care of yourself. Make sure you're safe, not strangers who you don't care about.
That is fair. I'm not very scared of being hurt or anything. I don't think I fear nothing.
I
Everything's
think
very
you're probably right.
I think so too.
Hmm.
But wait, this is supposed to be about you and Sinclair. I just think I finally understand. So wait, back before we change, do I tell her how I feel or do I just like wait? I'm confused what to do.
I think you wait a bit to try and figure out whether she feels similarly or you get a kind of hint from her. Is that right, Malachi? I don't know.
I mean, that's one way to go about it. If you want to dwell on your feelings and see if there is anything that could happen between the two of you, I'd say wait. Or you can just say fuck it and just be like, hey, I think I'm developing feelings for you and see how she fucking takes it. But that's a little forward, but Asta's also a very forward person.
To speak feelings. I think feelings should be shared. But maybe I don't know. I don't want to scare her, so maybe I wait.
So probably be best.
Mint is very shy. She might.
Exactly.
Maybe
She just shows face, and that is very personal. I don't want to push too hard.
compliments work on her. She gets really
Okay.
a little embarrassed.
But doesn't everybody get embarrassed with compliment?
Yeah, but her face gets a little pink and it's pretty cute.
Oh, okay. I chest and seal. But see, Magnus, you just do what I do. Just speak from heart. Always from heart. Just speak what you feel and think. People are gonna
It's
judge
just-
you anyways.
I know what to do, I think, with Sinclair. It's just that I'm worried about everything else. The pirate stuff. Whether we end up... What the hell is going to even happen to us?
If you like Sinclair that much, that stuff won't really matter.
Him being cursed means
No.
I'll outlive him. Like,
No.
That's just something that happens sometimes.
yeah.
We all never know when we're going to die. Hell, Better could come and kill all of us tonight for all we know.
Magnus's hand starts shaking.
As
You're like, reaches for the glass of wine.
as Magnus shakily reaches for the glass of wine, we are going to cut over to Mint real quick. As you are sitting on the dock, listening to the siren song, I am aware of it, but just for audience sake, what is your passive perception?
Me passive perception is going to be,
A million.
yeah, roughly. I think it's
Roughly 1.8 million.
Second.
It's like 22,
D&D
isn't it?
Beyond is reloading. It is 21.
21. I was one off.
You see someone at the helm of the way, or at the towards the front of the Wayward Sun. Walk up to the edge and just throw something out into the water as it, and then they walk off. You
Do
don't
I
get a
know?
glimpse on who,
Okay.
but you definitely notice someone doing it.
Interesting. And where they're throwing it, is it like relatively deep water or shallow? Do I know?
They're throwing it off in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Off in this direction.
Oh, right. Okay. And, did I hear any of the singing falter at all?
Nope, still going.
Okay. Interesting. Mint will remember this. She's pretty confused, but she also doesn't really want to get into anyone's business for right now, so she'll just kind of make a mental note out of it.
All right.
Or, and maybe, does this person, like, where do they go? Are they gonna, like, walk off?
They go below deck.
Okay, okay. Interesting. Alright, does Mint have... Okay, now I'm just nosy, I guess. Would I at all have access to, like, kind of who hangs out and sleeps on, like, you know, on the pirate ships versus...
Mainly just Thorin. Like, not many people sleep on the pirate ship.
Okay.
Thorin has a room that she doesn't use.
Interesting. Alright, alright. I'll just keep note of that for now.
As you are kind of sitting there, listening to the song, making a mental note, we will come back to you in a moment. Kadan. So you walk in, going to talk to Uno.
I'll just kind of walk in and kind of just like lean against the bar. Sorry about my frustrations today.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get so close. I'm just trying to turn around. No need to be sorry.
Kraken and I just had fight, I guess. I do not wish to get into nitty-gritty. But it is just difficult. Over the course of my life, I have met different people and I have come to trust them. And those people have either died or hurt me in the end. And being reminded of that pain, it thrust me into a terrible, terrible headspace.
I'm gonna hold out my hand for Kadan.
I look down at it, and I'll hold my hand out.
I'll take his hand. Just hold his hand. Like I said today, like I explained today, I'm not really much else than what you guys see of me. Nothing but my words, but I do want to try my best for you, Kadan. I take people's pain and sadness and I make it my own because I may not understand, but at least they don't have to suffer alone. And I won't always have the words to pull you back from the dark, but I will be here to sit with you in it. And if you want, take your hand and I'll squeeze his hand, or wrap my arms around you until it passes. For every for every sunrise, there is a night of darkness. But as long as I am here, I can endure them both with you.
And I would do the same for you. I know you say you do not feel these pains. You do not feel what we do. But I will always be there for you. You do not need to try any harder than you already are. You have already done more than most. Which is why I want you to know. I want you to know how the bear first came to be. Because maybe you can help me learn where it came from.
Take your time.
I'm willing to share that story now.
Would you like to sit?
I think it's better that I stand so I don't break a table just in case.
Yeah, she kind of just shakes your hand, like in a reassuring way. I'm gonna fix that damn hole in the wall. She kind of looks irritated at the fucking hole in the wall.
To be fair, that was Asta, not me.
I know, it just bothers me that no one's fixed it.
Well, like I was sharing today, my mother and I, we lived on Akamar under the peaceful rule of what is now a villain in the world's history of Castiel Vazari. We do not know why people marked him as villain, for we only saw him as the person who made our land the way it was. We would have farms, we would have no wars, things were peaceful. My father, I do not remember much of him. He was busy, what mother would say. He would only come around once every few weeks, check in on us, made sure we had what we needed. And then he'd be gone. Mom said he was important, and when I was older I would understand. Mother, she would gather lumber for the village, and I would go with her, and she would cut down trees and sing her songs, as I would sit in the grass and play. One day, Father came home in a hurry. He brought with him his companion Mishkala, which I have told you about. He spoke in a language I did not understand to my mother. My mother only spoke to me in Orcish. She said it was our natural-born tongue, and that was the first language I should learn. But he seemed worried. He seemed to be in a hurry. He was packing our bags and piling them on Mishkala. Mother came to me and said, "Do not worry, little one. We are going on a little camping trip." And put me on the back of Mishkala, and we all headed into the mountains. There was a blizzard raging around us. And Father led us deep into the mountains. And we eventually stumbled upon a cave where we made camp. The blizzard stopped for some time, but Father and Mother, they continued to converse, the worry never leaving their faces. My mother came to me and said, "I will be back. Don't you worry. I will always come back for you." Before she kissed me on the forehead and left, the blizzard picked back up, and Mishkala and I sat in that cave for 3 days before the blizzard ended. We went to go look for them, making our way back down the mountain. I could see my village in the distance. There was commotion. And I remember one of the last things I saw was a group of 6 people running from the tower that shielded it before it detonated and killed everyone in the village. That was the first time the bear came out. I blacked out. I don't remember how long I was out. I just remember waking up to Mishkala holding me, the fur on her chest torn off, my hands covered in blood, as she held me tight, not letting me go until I stopped raging. And ever since that day, the rage has been there, always boiling, ready to come to surface. I never found my mother or father. They never came back. And it was Mishkala and I in those mountains for the next 10 years. So when people speak of these Glemt hunters as heroes, they're the ones who brought war to my peaceful shores and killed my family.
Kadon, why do you think the bear appeared?
Some trigger of trauma. I do not know. I am not smart like you all are.
I'm not smart either, I just memorize a lot of things. But thank you for sharing with me. I think it's important for us to working towards a way to getting in control of the bear. I didn't think, if I'm being honest, that he could speak. I thought it was you going into a rage, as I've seen many people do in the pit. I've seen many lose their minds to it. I know it might sound crazy, but I guess I am crazy. I want to try and speak to him if it ever happens again.
It was just...
I don't ever want to hurt you, and I won't ever hurt you, Kadon.
I was just talking to Sinclair, and he believes that there is a tea that will help me clear my mind so I can meditate and try to speak with the bear.
I can be there for you when you do that. It'll make you feel better. Like I said, he won't hurt me.
Would like that, thank you.
Just know, everything you tell me, I'll remember. Everything about you, I'll remember. And like I said before, your parents, Mishkala, everyone who's been important to you that you still love, they're not gone from you. I don't know if you saw me show Mint earlier, and I'll pull my prayer book back out, and I'll flip to that page, to that beautiful young woman. I showed Mint this earlier. This is a person that shines like the sun in my memories of being in that dark pit. And she's not gone from me. She's there. Maybe you can try to find that light in the darkness too. Whenever you get lost.
He'll kind of tug at the bear pelt. It's like, I carry Mishkala wherever I go. I made the promise I would never, ever let her fur be harmed again. But that is a story for another time. But I understand what you mean by carrying on for those who can't carry on their own.
Hmm. Rest for now, Kadon. Or meditate, whatever you need.
As the two of you part ways. Flint, you're in bed. Mint, do you eventually go to sleep?
Yes.
Do you go to sleep in the common room, or do you go to sleep in your room?
Probably my room.
Okay. Flint, you're going to sleep in your room?
Yeah.
The bath time buddies. Y'all going to bed anytime soon? Or are you gonna prune in there for a while?
Oscar's fine with veg out for a while.
Okay. Magnus, Malachi. I just need to know this for the final little moment here.
If the boys didn't have any more questions, Malachi would get out.
Okay.
When Magnus would finish his glass of wine is when he would get out.
Okay. Malachi, do you go to bed?
Yeah.
Okay. Flint would already be all tucked in under the covers, as the two of you are staying in the same room.
Oh, Malachi's just meditating.
Okay.
I don't sleep.
I know you don't sleep, but you do have a
You know
bed.
what I mean? Yeah, I lay down.
You head in and lay down. The final lanterns would begin to turn off. A long day finally coming to a close. Before a journey is undertaken from the grotto, before they set off, as long as time accounts for it, loose ends need to be wrapped up. Kadon, you're aware of this. The prisoners will have to be dealt with before you leave, but there is another matter to attend to. I need a perception check at disadvantage from Malachi and Flint.
Disadvantage.
Because you're meditating or asleep. You're snoozing. Getting your me-me-me's.
I got 18.
Okay. Flint?
That's a 10.
You would be thrown awake by this as it gets loud. But Malachi, you wake up as the door creaks open. You kind of peer your eyes open. So everyone was in bed when you came to get settled in for the evening. No one should be coming in here. As you see 3 hooded figures loom over to the Yuan-Ti's bed. One larger than the other. You hear Cobb's voice in the dark. Come here! As you watch the Yuan-Ti is grabbed, and Flint, this is when you wake up, when you hear a no! As he gets dragged off and pulled out of the room. And that is where we'll end for tonight.
That's the UNT captain, who is the traitor.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Rest in peace, buddy.
So just the
Rest in
3
piss.
top dogs, Sinclair, Kraken, Cobb, just all went to...
It was Cobb for sure, and 2 unknown individuals.
I'm willing to bet you're right on your prediction. The other 2 top dogs.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, I was
Because
going to.
Kraken and Cobb are kind of the same size, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
So there would have to be like one bigger
Oh,
than
true.
them.
Yeah.
So what? Like, would they trust Billy with that?
Billy.
or
It was one big individual that grabbed, and then two
That's
other
probably
smaller
Billy.
individuals.
It has to be.
Well, could have been Maury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
I think-
Maury.
maybe Thorin too. Could be anyone.
But we will get to dealing with that next week. It's be coming back in the morning as chaos ensues. Prisoners are dealt with, and traitors are given their charges. Yeah, thank you all for joining us. Thank you to the wonderful players with some heavy roleplay, heavy episode 10.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Heavy from everybody. Good talks. We had like heavy conversations. We had, fatherly beatings. We had.
There's romance a brewing.
There was romance a brewing. There's pulling
I want you
pulling
back
your
to
monkey in the tub with the homies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All monkeys.
Hole in the mud.
I can't wait for that to just be brought up.
Oh God.
Another session,
Only
like, have you
Malachi and Austin know this term.
It's
We're gonna
true.
be saying it. Like, were you pulling the monkey?
Even if Uno knew it, she would not say it.
It'll be our code word for something, don't you?
Yeah.
That's our Jenga.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say.